So I think everyone has joined in the respective time zone. So we can start off with the webinar. So I welcome you all to our new webinar about the new release of our app, DeDupe. In this, we have increased or we have enhanced ourselves with fuzzy matching, master record selection, and other more features that I'm going to take you through as we go along this webinar. Right. So I am Ranjana Verma, and let us just get started. Right. So before we start off with the entire webinar, let me just give you the logistics here. All the lines would be muted throughout the session. If you have any questions or any doubts at any point of time, you can just type it in our chat window. And we have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, wherein I would be answering all those questions for you. Right. Now, before we start off with the application that we are looking into, that is DDupe, let me just give an overview of our company, that is Inogic. So Inogic, as you all know, is one of the leading ISV providers, and we are also a system integrators, right? So apart from DDupe, we have other 17 productivity apps, and we are constantly increasing those. Some of which you can see is recently added WhatsApp for Dynamics, wherein it is a WhatsApp integration within Dynamics 365 CRM. One of our popular one is SharePoint Security Sync. That is basically, apart from migrating your data or your documents to SharePoint, we also take care of the security aspects there, right? So apart from these 17 apps that we have, we are also a
So
system
before we start
integrator.
off with the
That is,
entire we provide
webinar.
offshore
Let me just give
development
you
to
the
our
logistics
clients,
here. All the lines would be
all
muted
over the
throughout
globe.
the session.
Right.
If
So
you
if you
have
want to
any
avail
questions
any
or
of our
any doubts at
services
any
or want
point
to
of
know
time,
any
you can just
about
type it in
anything
our
about
chat
these
window.
apps that you see
And
over
we
here,
have a
you can
Q&A
reach out to
session at
us
the end of the
at
webinar, wherein I would be answering
crm@delight.com
all those
and
questions
we
for you.
will be happy to assist you. Right.
Now, before we start
Now,
off with the
going
application
forward with
that we
the
are
agenda
looking
for
into,
today,
that is
right?
DDupe,
So
let me
as
just
you
give
all
an
know, we are
overview
here
of
to
our
see DDupe
company, that
in
is
live
Inogic.
action.
So
So we would
Inogic,
first
as
understand
you
why
all know,
DDupe
is
is
one of the
necessary,
leading
right?
ISV
What is the
solution,
need? What are the challenges?
ISV
Key
providers,
features,
and we are also a
how do we
system
tackle them,
integrators,
how do we
right?
tackle
So
these
apart
challenges,
from DDupe,
and
we
then
have
the live
other
action
17
of those
productivity apps,
features
and we
that
are
I'm going to show
constantly
you.
increasing
And then we
those.
have the
Some of which you can
FAQs and
see
Q&A
is,
session at the end,
recently
wherein
added
I'll be
WhatsApp for
answering your
Dynamics,
questions
wherein
as
it is
per
a
your
WhatsApp integration within
uh,
Dynamics
your
365 CRM.
convenience. So
One of
let me
our
just in
popular one
simple
is
terms
SharePoint
introduce
Security Sync.
DDupe.
That is
So
basically,
DDupe is nothing but a
apart
data
from
hygiene
migrating
app
your data or
that
your
detects,
documents to
prevents, and
SharePoint, we
merge
also take
duplicate
care of the
records in your
security
Dynamics
aspects there,
365 CRM.
right? So
Okay.
apart from
And
these
why do we
70,
think
17
it is
apps that we
necessary, the
have,
need of
we are
DDupe,
also
right?
a
So
system
before we start
integrator.
off with the
That is,
entire
we
provide
provide
offshore
offshore. Let me just give
development to
you
our
the
clients,
logistics
people
here.
interact
All the
with
lines would
us
be muted
all over the
throughout
globe.
the session.
So
Right. So
if you
if you
want
have
to
any
avail
questions
any
or
of our
any
in our
doubts at
system, there
any
is
point of
somewhere
time,
around
you can just
about
type it
30
in
plus
our
about
chat
these
window.
apps that you see
And
over
we
here.
have a
You can
Q&A
reach out to
session at
us
the end of the
at
webinar,
CRM at
and
the
what
rate
I would
Inogic
be
because
answering
of
all
this
those
is
questions
and
for
there
you.
is
Be happy to
problem in
assist you.
taking decisions,
Right. Now,
analytical
before we
decisions,
start off with
right?
the
Going forward
application
with
that
the
we are
agenda
looking
for
into,
today,
that is
right?
DDupe,
So
let me
as
just
you
give
all
an
know,
overview
right, the
of
data
our
consistency
company, that
in
is
live action
Inogic.
is not
So
maintained
Inogic,
properly.
as
Understand
you
why
all know,
DDupe
is
is
one of the
necessary,
leading
right?
ISV
What is the
solution. What are
reasons?
the
It
challenges?
somewhere
ISV
around
providers,
here.
and we are also a
How do I
system
tackle them
integrators.
or how do we
Right.
tackle
So
these
apart
challenges?
from DDupe,
And
we
then
have
the
other
live action
17
because of this
productivity
duplicate
apps,
features
and we
that
are
I'm going to show
constantly
you.
increasing
And then
those.
we
As
have
it
some of
increases, the
FAQs
search
and
amount
Q&A
is
section
like
at the end,
recently
wherein
added
I'll be
WhatsApp for
answering over the
Dynamics,
period of time
wherein
as
it is
per
a
your
WhatsApp integration
and
within
uh,
Dynamics
your
365
convenience
CRM.
of data
So one of
let me
our
just in
popular one
simple
is
terms
SharePoint
introduce
Security Sync.
DDupe.
That is
So
basically,
DDupe is nothing but a
apart
data
from
hygiene
migrating your
app
data
at any
or your
point there are
documents to
preventing and
SharePoint, we
merge
also take care of
duplicated
the
data, and let me
security
show you how
aspects
they
there,
are
right?
created in
So
the system,
apart
right?
from
And
these
why for an
70,
example over here
17
it is
apps that
John
that, let me just, go to the live demonstration of the tool and show you how it is actually done in our system, right? So I hope you guys are again, able to see my screen over here, wherein I am in the demo instance of my CRM, and I'm on the lead entity over here, and I can see all these leads are present with me, right? So let me just search for one of my lead that I'm gonna work for, that is Simon, right? Yeah, over here, sorry, I put an E extra over there. So let's say I am working on this lead of mine that is Simon Riley, right? So as soon as this is a new lead and I'm a new salesperson, I'm gonna work freshly on this. So here are all the details present for Simon in the entire system. Sorry, my internet is a little slow, so just you know, bear with us. So yeah, like I said, I am a new salesperson and this is a new lead for me and I'm working on it. And these are all the details that are found, right? As soon as I see there's this banner, notification over here that says duplicate record exists for this, right? So that means that this is not the first time Simon is interacting with my company. There have been instances wherein Simon has actually inquired. There's already leads present in my system, and I have to just see what are those who all worked on it so that I have the entire compilation when I talk to Simon and just not a new one, right? So how do you see how what all duplicates you have? So we have the button right over here on the ribbon bar for your accessibility so that you don't have to search it. All you got to do is just click on this and you will find a list of duplicates that are present in your system. So this is the current record that I'm working on, right? That is Simon Riley. And then I scroll down, I know that there are 4 other leads under Simon Riley that is already present in my system, right? Over here. And if I want to see cross entity as well, there's one more feature that we have that is cross entity, wherein you can see under Simon Riley's name what all contacts you have already in your system, right? It could be contacts, it could be accounts as well, or any other custom entity that you want. Just a side note over here that when I say any entity, I might be working on lead that is out of box CRM entity, but DeDupeD works on all the entities, be it out of box or custom, right? So let's get back to this part. So I can see there are 4 of my leads already present in my system. So all what I can do is I can merge them on the go. So I can select whichever I want to merge. I can select one by one or just the entire list over here. Click on merge option, and here you will have a preview, right? Okay. So here you will have a preview of how the final record would look like, right? And this is the master record that I am working on by default. The record that you are working on becomes the master, and rest of them becomes the subordinate over here, right? So now here you can select which all data you want to put in your master record. So here all the fields that are filled in will only appear. So if you have more fields filled in, you will be able to see them. Right now these are the only fields that are present, the blank ones are eliminated, right? So let's say I want this phone number in my last one, and in this case this phone number, right? So here you see the preview, you will be able to see the preview how it is going to look like in the final one. So rest of the things are same. I think for the topic I'm going to change, choose interest in car purchase rather than interest in DeDupeD, right? So you can pick and choose which all fields you want to merge and which all fields you want to choose here, so that at the end you get your chosen one or the one that has accurate data all in all, right? So if I have chosen enough, I can just click on this finish over here. It is going to give me one last pop-up because this merge cannot be undone, right? So once you click on continue, it is going to go ahead and merge the entire record in the background. And if you read this message over here, it says, in the UI, I have just selected the fields that I'm going to merge, right? But we all know that in CRM, there are a lot of related records, a lot of activities that are present in the timeline section that are very critical for us to have in the system, and that should also be merged, right? So that is why in the background it is going to merge all the related records, it is going to merge all the activities in my timeline section, so that the master one has all every detail of all the subordinate records, and I don't have to worry on that, right? So as soon as I've clicked on this OK button over here, let me just refresh it, right? And in the background, it is going to go ahead and, merge all of them together. So this was just for one record wherein I was just working on a new lead of mine, and just I found out that there is duplicate and I merged it on the go. But what would happen, if you have millions and millions of Simon Riley, you cannot just open one record there and then go ahead and merge them together, right? So you need something that, does a merge, a bulk merge or a mass merge for you, right? So for that, what do we have is this application that works outside of CRM. Okay, it's a Windows tool that works outside of CRM, and it has a very simple UI. So all you got to do is install this solution in your Windows, and log in through your CRM credentials. That's it. Nothing else to be done over here, right? And yeah, let me just get started over here. So here you will see all your entities listed. Now again, I have configured the solution only for contact and lead. Hence, I'm able to see only two of my entities, but you can see all your entities whichever you have configured. And I will take you through the configuration journey as well, so that you understand where all, you have to set all these details so that it is much more clear, right? So I've selected lead as the entity over here. I can select the respective view. Here you will find all your system views. So you can select the respective view which you want to search. Now, if you see in this open leads view, I have somewhere around 109 leads, right? And I want to see which all duplicates are present in my system. So I can just click on this find duplicates over here. And what is this doing is this is scanning the entire system for this 109 records, right? So this is going to take few seconds because it is not only scanning the 109 within 109, but it is scanning 109 from the entire list of your leads that you have in your system. So this might take a few seconds, but yes, once it is done, you will be able to see this kind of grouping over here, right? Wherein my master records is pre-termed, and then there is a grouping based on their names or whichever, however you choose it. So here there is this Adrian, Sherry. So there are groups so that it becomes much more easy for you guys to understand where exactly, these are located. And then this is the master one that is predefined. But let's say for some of the other reason, I want this to be made master. So I can just click on master, and you see it has changed itself. This is the new master and rest of them are subordinate over here, right? Now, if you want to merge only some of your records, yeah, that is some of your groups. So you can do that. You can select one by one and only merge them. Or else if you want to do the entire list that you have got over here, that is 29 groups. If you want to do it all together, you can just go ahead, click on this master one, and it is going to, select all of them together over here, right? Similarly, if you want to search for any of these records, so here we have given you a search option as well so that you don't have to scroll down all together. You can just type in the keywords, click on search, and it is going to open up for you, right? And here in the summary card, again, you are able to see that for this 109 records, there are 79 duplicates that are present in my system, right? Which is again in turn grouped into 29 groups, right? Based on their names. So if everything looks good to you and you want to mass merge the entire system and clear your historical data all at once, all you can do is just click on this merge button over here, right? So when you click on this merge button, what is this going to do is in the background, it's going to merge all these records together at once. And while this is merging, Like I said, again, here as well, it is not only merging the fields that we are talking about, but it is also merging the related records or the activities against it, right? So this is going to take few seconds of merging. While this is merging in the background, like I said, let me just take you to the configuration part of DTube, right? So you might have a lot of questions in terms of how do we choose the rules, how do we merge them, in case I don't want everyone to give that merge authority, how do I do it? Right? So everything is present in this little box over here. That is the configuration section, right? So whichever entity you want to configure, you have to select that entity. Right now I'm on the lead over here. And now these two are very important to us. First is authorized user role to ignore duplicates. This is I'm going to show you in the next part. Once we are done with the tool, I will be showing this. But let's just work on this part. Authorized user role to merge duplicates. So now you have seen in the Simon Riley's case, I was able to merge the entire Simon Riley into one master record, right? But as a admin or as an organization, you might not want to give that role to everyone in the system, that every system user can merge them. You might have certain clarity that only system administrators or only the managers or sales managers are allowed to do that. Rest of the people should not be able to do it. Only should they be able to see that there are duplicates present in the system. So in that case, you can select the roles from here and you can check them, and only those people will be able to merge it. Similarly, this part is for the prevention of duplicate, right? So that is just a notification. As soon as you change any field in this Simon Riley section and click on save over here, it is going to give you a pop-up saying that there's already a lead present. So why do you want to change it? Why do you want to change and save it? There is already a lead present. You can merge them, right? So this gives you an future proofing of the system. Similarly, in the tool, you might have seen that the masters were predefined, right? So while there was a group of entire section in our DeDupeD app over here like this, the masters were predefined without me selecting. So how do we do that? Here is the master deciding rule, wherein I can decide how do I want my master to be. Who do I want my master to be, right? So that is this latest modified, the one that I modified right now. The first one to be modified, that is the oldest one. Similarly, comes for created, the latest created, the oldest created, right? And the last two are my personal favorite. First is this most field values, that is the lead or the record that has more field values should be termed as master, and rest of them should be subordinate. Similarly, the account or the record which has more activities in it, that means my salesperson has actually worked on that particular record more, so it should be termed as master, and rest of them should be subordinate. And nonetheless, when you're merging them, it is already going to collate and give you a final one, right? So these are some of them. If these do not resonate with you, we have something called as criteria based. Okay, so you can have your own in the advanced find section over here. You can create your own criteria of how you want to term them as master, and then just paste the fetch XML over here, and then you can customize it as per your requirement. So this was the merge setting rule over here, like the general part of entity configuration. And if I go ahead and see the duplicate matching rule, okay. So when I say that Simon Riley duplicate exists, so what is it matching with? Is it matching with the phone numbers? Is it matching with the email ID? What exactly the rule is based on which we are terming them as duplicates, right? So here we have this matching rule conditions or duplicate matching conditions that we have. So right now, the one that we saw for Simon was basically for email addresses, right? So the email address should exactly match in order to term them as duplicates, right? Similarly, if I want to create a new duplicate matching rule condition over here, I can just click on this plus button, select the attribute over here. So let's say name, right? I'm selecting as name, and this source as well as the name part. Okay, so both the entities or both the fields should be named. So the name field should exactly match the name field in order to term them as duplicates. So here there is this matching methods. So it should exactly match, then only it should be, duplicate. There should be first n characters that should match, last n characters that should match, or the contains part should, there should be something that is content in that particular field in order to term them as duplicates. Now, this was something that we had in the earlier solutions as well. Now we have recently introduced this fuzzy. Now, what is this fuzzy is basically while we are putting up data, maybe from my end or from maybe from the client's end, what happens is sometimes we do a typo, right? Instead of Ranjana being a single A, I might type in double A. So in that case, if we go ahead with the unique matches, then I would never find the double A part, right? So hence we have what we have selected is this fuzzy option. What will this do is this little typos that we have in our naming structures or in the alphabetically ordered ranges, if there's any typos that are there, it is going to ignore those and give you in the list, and then you can select you want to merge them or not based on your requirements, right? So this was the condition, and this is how you create your conditions over here, and create your rules over here, right? So while I have explained the entire thing, let's see if this duplicate merging has done. So I think it is on 79%. That is, it is still working and still continuing to do that. But nonetheless, it would take few seconds of mine. So yeah, let's just get back to the system over here and see some more features that we have. Okay, right. So yeah, like I said, now let's assume over here it is 79%. So I think it is going to take more 5 to 10 minutes over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new lead and see if it is going to do the future proofing for me or not, right? So let me just open this in a new tab over here, right? And let's say for some of, let's say the 79% is actually completed and we are on 100% over here, right? And let me just, minimize this. And as a system user, let me create a new lead. Let me create a new lead over here, right? So now what I have done so far is I've cleared my historical data, I've cleared my system and everything, right? And now in the future proofing, I don't want that anytime, my users are able to create a new duplicate for me, right? So how do we prevent that? In that case, let me just, fill in all the necessary details over here. Simon, the email ID. As soon as I've, filled in the email ID, you see this pop-up has immediately occurred to me, wherein this says that the Simon Riley is already present in my system, right? We have cleared the entire historical data. That means that the system is very much clear. There's only one lead for Simon that is present, right? And now I'm going to create a new one. So, the system is already giving me a pop-up and restricting me not to create any new lead under the same email ID. So here, if I click on ignore and again go ahead and write in my details that is interested in DeDupeD. Oh, I think the rest of the fields, and click on save over here. Click on save over here. Again, it is going to give me a pop-up saying that, you already have a system, you already have a lead here. But this time, instead of ignore, you see that there is ignore and save. Basically, it is saying that, there could be a chance or there could be a use case in our system wherein, let's say, I am the CEO and I want to work with the Simon Riley lead on a separate basis as compared to the ones that are actually working or my salespeople are actually working on. So I have Glenn over here who is working on this lead, but I want to work on a separate lead for this Simon. I want them to be kept separated. So in that case, in some of the instances, you might want to create these duplicates. So for that, you have this option of ignore and save. Okay. So I can just click on this, and this gives me a right to create another duplicate. So we have, this gives me a right that I have created another duplicate in my system, right? So here, again, let me go take you to the configuration part, and I mentioned that uh, this part, right? Authorized user role to ignore duplicates. So this ignoring and saving of duplicates or creating mass, or duplicates in the system. Again, here as well, we have given you a provision of you can select which roles can create these duplicates and which roles cannot. So that your system is again kind of, future proofed and everything. So far, let me just check where are we here. Mhm. That's so much for that. I think the tool has been stuck over here, but yes, the connection issue is there. So let me just see in my system, right? So we were on leads and I chose the option of open leads, wherein there was 109 records there, and now we have only 31. That means it has merged in the background. It seems that my system is actually stuck. So let me just close this tool for now. So now if you see, there are only unique records of 31 rather than 109 that are present in my system, and all of them are pretty much unique and new to me, right? And I can go ahead and work on it. So far, what we have seen is basically, on the go, on the UI, how can you see your duplicates and merge them on the go in that Simon Riley case? And then you cannot go ahead and do that one by one. So in terms of mass merge, how can you do it? So for mass merge, we have our tool there for you, wherein you can just, open up the tool, select your data sources, select your views, and go ahead and mass merge it, right? Once the system is historically and purely completed and new, then you might want to restrict those from future creating. So in that case, we have this configuration wherein you can restrict the users to ignore and create new duplicates. You can restrict the users to create merges in the system, right? So this was the part. Now, second is server side duplicate settings. That is, this was so far whatever we spoke was basically from my end, from a salesperson in, that is the person who's going to use the system. But we all know that lead comes through various sources from various directions, right? Anybody who interacts with my social media post, a lead is created there. So how do you restrict that in that case? So here we have server side duplicate settings as well, wherein you can restrict or prevent duplications from creating a new record or existing records from the server side. So in that case, what would happen is, let's take Simon's case itself. If Simon is a lead already present in my system, and the system is trying from the background to create another, Simon Riley's lead. So in that case, it is going to restrict it, and in the error logs, you will be able to see that, the lead was trying to be created, but since it already exists, it was not created. And if you want to go even further, you can write a flow wherein it can come up as an attachment in the timeline section for you guys, right? And again, we can discuss that further over here, right? So this was all about DeDupe as an app that we have spoken. I understand that, this was majorly a pretty generic one that I have showed you. Yeah. So this is the pretty generic one that I have showed you. That is all the features that we have in our DeDupe app. Now, some of them would be resonating with you, some of them not, or you might have your own personal questions and queries. So in that case, we can connect on a personal level wherein We can have a one-to-one demonstration based on your use case, based on what you want in your system, and take the discussion forward. So in that case, you can just reach out to me at crm@inogic.com, and I'll be happy to assist you there, right? And let's just have a quick recap of what we have done so far. So we have identified the duplicates, right? And we have this on-demand duplicate identification, that is on the ribbon bar. You were able to see show duplicates and you were able to merge them, right? So that was the thing. Then we had the clearing up of the historical data through our tool, that is Windows tool that we have seen. If you want to clear up your historical data, you use the tool. But if you want to do it on the UI, we have the UI option as well, right? And the fuzzy matching method, that is something new. That is the typo thing. So, sometimes we type in something wrong or some extra words, and we are not in the senses to understand it. And if we make a very pure system or a very pure rule as well there, what would happen it is going to ignore the fuzzy one. So hence we have created this fuzzy matching method. And then once everything is cleared up in your system, that is, your data is clarified and everything, you might want to prevent them in the future. Yeah. From the foreground as well as from the background, right? Me creating, a system user creating, or the server creating. So how do we do that? Again, I have showed you in the configuration section, right? Now, available for, that is the deployment. So Dedupe is available for a Dynamics 365 CRM, that is online or on-premise, and Dataverse, right? What are the next steps? How do we get started? So we are listed on AppSource as well. You can go ahead, download the solution from AppSource, import it, activate your license, and have a 15-day of trial wherein you can work or play around with the tool. If you have any queries, you can reach out to us. Or you want to go with the traditional way wherein I would be demonstrating you personally based on your use case, we can connect personally as well, right? So now let's get to the Q&A section, right? So I feel that everything was fine and you guys don't have any questions. So let's just jump to the FAQs, that is, frequently asked questions that you might have over the period of time. So first is, can we clear up the historical records? Yes, we can clear the historical records on the go. Does it work for all Dynamics entities? Yes, right. So many of my clients usually ask that CRM itself has this duplicate detection and merging part. So why do you have to create another tool for it altogether? So the reason for that is basically there are some limitations, that is, out of box CRM rules only work on some of its out of box entities only, whereas our tool works on out of box as well as the custom entities, right? Does it work with Microsoft Dataverse? Yes, it does work. Can we merge duplicate records in bulk? Yes. And if you want to merge them in bulk, you can use the Windows tool that we have and clear up your historical data. How do we start off? So it's pretty simple. How do we start off? We just go ahead and, our app is listed on AppSource. So you can just go ahead, install it, and work around it, right? So this was all for today, wherein I explained you the entire tool. Thank you so much for joining, guys. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Or if you want to try out our solution, give us the feedback, anything like that, just please feel free to reach out and talk to us. I'll see you in my next webinar. Until then, please take care and have a great day ahead. Bye, guys.